Hey there everyone, this is Seb and welcome back to Let's All Play in the Battle of Olympus. Say bye bye to Athena because we are on our way through Athens once more. With 70 olives as you can see, because I did some off-screen grinding. I want to cover a lot, do a lot of progressing in this video. So I figured I'd cut out the grinding because I showed you how to do that in the previous video. So let's go and move back to Eleusis. Now Athena did give us a nice shield, so this track was totally worth it, and that is going to come in handy against those stupid spear bears. And yeah, what kind of shield is it? Maybe it's supposed to be the Aegis from Zeus, because he did allow Athena to use his weapons and gear, also like the Thunderbolt for example, because she was his favorite daughter, and that in itself is kind of debatable, but hey, I digress. Another shield that Athena once gave to a hero was Perseus. He got the mirror shield in order to vanquish Medusa.
There's a witch somewhere who can make ye a shield from fire.
And apparently there is another shield to be gotten, which is made out of fire, which sounds awesome and also rather impractical. But oh well.
Oh, you're Xenos. My child was kidnapped by the vampire Nemean. If you can help me, I'll give you this staff.
Well, let's see what we can do. That staff is being referenced quite a lot, so we want that. And this is why we want the shield. To block the arrows from the Lamia here, our second semi-boss. And quite a tough one, let me tell you. This is probably gonna give you a lot of trouble the first time you're going here. Because you need a lot of timing to avoid the arrows. Because even though you have the shield, when you approach they will be too high to make use of it.
Thank you for coming to help me. I thought I was a goner for sure.
And with that, quest completed. Oh, here is a body of water we cannot cross yet. And let's make our way back. And don't drop into the pit because that's quite humiliating. Let me tell you, out of experience. Yeah.
This sea will lead you to Phrygia. There you'll find a fire-breathing dragon.
Sounds exciting and sounds like the exact reason why I don't want to go there. Come here, Scorpion.
Use the power of Poseidon to cross the sea!
And here the game once again shows you something comes up and right away it gives you hints on how to actually make use of it later on. Very awesome, love that design.
Please accept this staff of our Fennel as a token of my gratitude. This staff is said to have a mysterious power. My father might know the man who knows how to use the power.
Awesome, so for saving the kid we get our first new weapon, the Staff of Fennel. Sweet.
Thank you, Xenos. Have a safe journey.
Why, thank you very much. We will be much safer now that we have a new weapon here. And as you can see, we got a nice boost in attack power, because now the scorpions only take one hit. I also love that the NPCs actually have some event flags, so they will be saying different things depending on what you did. Speaking of which...
So you're the benefactor of this humble household. Prometheus is the only person who knows how to use the powers of the staff. Oh, me old man's bones.
So their grandpa told us to seek out Prometheus to actually make use of the full power of the staff. So yeah, very cool trip here to Atica to actually find some awesome things. Oh, you're gonna get it, Mr. Spearbear. There you go, they always bounce back. So as we trek through Arcadia once more, let me quickly talk a bit about the Lamia, because she's quite an interesting character. Now, the game calls her a vampire, and I don't think that in Greek mythology she was known as such. That is something that was later on contributed to her, or the whole race of Lamia actually. No, in Greek mythology she was a mistress of Zeus, and Zeus having a wife called Hera, she obviously wasn't too happy with this whole development. So, being the jealous wife that she was, she got rid of all the children of Lamia, which turned her into a very grievous creature, and eventually into the monster that she is known as.
Go to Peloponnesus, after you have gone to Atica and Argolis.
And there's a new hint on our next destination, Argolis, and more bears. Could use a bear. Not so much bears. But yeah, Lamia, so she was kind of the original boogeyman of ancient Europe, because parents used her to scare children with. Come on, you stupid slime. You know what? Screw you guys. I'm going this way. We've got plenty of olives, so no need to actually spend more time on you as required. Yeah, I love that shield.
I know of a strange flask. You could take nectar with you.
What's this? A flask that holds liquid? What lunacy is this? What will they come up with next?
I've heard that Ambrosia can be found beneath Argolis.
And that's good to keep in mind, because Ambrosia is actually one of the more kick-ass pickups in the game. So we will be wanting to search that out for sure. And yeah, that flask, if it can't hold beats, it didn't happen. Hey, that bear didn't come back. Oh well, so they don't always bounce back. Let's head over to Argolis, one of the more treacherous areas in the game already. And yeah, it's no fun.
I saw the nymph being taken to a cavern.
Interesting, so as you might remember, we need to hunt down the nymphs, and one is supposed to be here, so that's cool.
Shields made of salamander skin will protect you from fire.
Okay, so there's a hint on how to make the shield happen. There's 2 caves here, let's first explore the left one. And right off the bat, no pun intended, we are introduced to 2 new enemies. The first of which is the snake, which can be kinda annoying. Just rush in and whack it.
Prometheus was thrown to the cavern many years ago. He can't escape. A lion is guarding the way.
So we'll be finding Prometheus here as well. Here's another decent spot to grind up some olives, or preferably some life if you have lost some. Because these 2 snakes, they tend to respawn. Sometimes you will need to go into the cave with the old dude. But yeah, if you want to grind some life back, then here's a good spot to do so. And I do recommend you're at full life in most of this cave, because those stupid birds, you see those? Yeah, they are the worst, man. They hang in wait on the ceilings, and there they are kinda hard to spot, and they can swoop in 3 different varieties in speed and distance, making them rather unpredictable enemies. And they just love to hang about pits where they will happily knock you into, and pits are instant death.
There are many salamanders under the Temple of Hermes.
Okay, not sure what good that does. Although we did have the hint about salamander skins.
In the depths of the next cave, there is a nest of salamanders. Watch out, or they will steal your life.
Okay, so let's not meddle with those. Oh boy, music change, hear that? That means boss time for real now. Although it's kind of a disappointing boss. It can be kind of tricky, but the best tip here is get rid of the bats so they don't mess you up. The Nemean lion himself is a bit of a pushover. He acts just like the bull, only 12 times as fast, so you do want to be careful with that, but it takes only 3 hits and he's down.
I'm Prometheus. I'll show you how to draw the flame from the staff. Press the upper button when you wave it. Got it?
Sounds interesting. Let's try this out. Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't have anything else to teach you.
No worries, man, because this is one of the more handier skills in the game, so I'm quite chuffed with that. And it is indeed a very, very cool skill to have, because it's our first projectile of the game. And as you can see, it also lingers on the floor, making it very handy to deal with approaching enemies, but more importantly, low enemies that you can't hit otherwise. For example, those nasty slimes. But yeah, just having a projectile, very handy indeed. So the Nemean lion is protecting Prometheus there, which is kind of interesting. The Nemean lion did protect his prey, this damsels in distress, in his cave. Now Prometheus is obviously not a damsel, but you know, it's kind of interesting that they make kind of use of the source material. Where the game gets it wrong, however, is that the lion was pretty much invulnerable to mortal weapons. He was the first labor for Heracles to take on and defeat, and we will be finding more of his labors actually. But basically how he managed to defeat the lion was by strangling the thing.
To wake the earth, use the ocarina.
Another handy tip to keep in mind. And obviously we can't do the strangling, so we just had to collaborate with our staff. Maybe the staff is magical or something, I don't know. It can shoot fire, so it's got that going on for it. Good to keep a note is that you can shoot fire in mid-air and also while ducking. Ducking is a bit finicky, but it's a very handy skill to keep in mind and actually learn.
In Argolis there are 2 seashores. The one up this way leads to Crete.
Okay, he fails to mention, but the other one is actually inaccessible due to a very high jump. Whoa, that was close. So scary, those bats near pits.
Be careful, you could fall into a nest of salamanders.
Yeah, that's something we do not want. So there is a little hint there, but that not all pits are what they seem. Hey, double kill. Sweet. This is a rather nasty jump, because you need a full acceleration on your walk, otherwise you cannot make that jump, so keep that in mind. Yeah, let's try and get the snakes in a easy way where... Ouch! Yeah, you jump in the pit. Okay, so after making a fool out of myself in that, let's move on again. And try to make it better now. There's a lot of snakes and a lot of bats, and together they just mess up your entire lunch basically. And ouch, stupid snakes, at least it gave me some life back.
I saw a flask floating in the direction of Laconia.
Ah, so that must be the nectar holding flask we've been hearing tales about. So yeah, this sea apparently leads to Crete. And now let's move into this door over here, see what we can find. A temple! So which god will we meet now? Hello? Hey buddy.
Hermes is gone, summoned by Zeus. Get out of here.
Okay, jeez. So this is Hermes' temple, but he's out. So we need to make our way back to Zeus to actually find him. And oh boy. Oh crap. This is the salamander pit we've been hearing so much horrors about. And let me tell you, these horrors are correct because these things hurt. And they keep on spawning from the ceiling. There is a reason to go here, but ouch. Ouch. Come on, buddies. Let's, you know what, screw it.
I'll let you have something nice in exchange for 50 olives. Here, eat this. It'll give you strength. What? Do you still want something?
I only wanted to thank you for this awesome gift, because yeah, quite amazing. Ambrosia, the food of the gods, is extends our life board by 4, which I already wasted on the salamanders. Way to go, Seb. But yeah, you start out with 8 units, now we have 12, very cool, and we will extend it further as we will find more. Anyway, let's move over to the Temple of Zeus to meet Hermes now. There was actually 2 ways of sustenance associated with the gods, the other being the drink, nectar. So, you know, I was joking about the flask before, but it kinda makes sense to have special properties to hold such a holy sustenance. There I showed how to produce a low flame, just duck and press up, and before Xenos stands up, quickly press the attack button and that will produce a low flame, which is a very handy skill to keep in mind later on with low enemies. And as you can see, enemies now are much easier to deal with the flame in hand. Let's quickly talk a bit about the Staff of Fennel, because what is that exactly? It's kind of an odd thing, because as far as I know in Greek mythology there was only one staff associated with Fennel, or actually Great Fennel, which was called the Tirsos. And this was a staff more used as a ceremonial item than a weapon, actually not a weapon at all, because Fennel doesn't tend to make very strong staves, let me tell you. It was associated by the jolly god Dionysos. I say jolly because, you know, he governed the wine, so I can only imagine him being a bit jolly. And it symbolizes fertility, and you know, you got the staff made out of fennel, which is the shaft, and you got a seed, which was the pine cone, and you know, that's kind of makes it an awkward weapon to wield. And especially when there is Prometheus who tells you how to produce flame by holding it up and waving it and all that kind of stuff, makes it a bit weird. Anyway, let's meet our friend Taurus here again. Maybe he was also inspired by one of Heracles' labors, but it doesn't make sense seeing the location. Anyway, over here now we find Hermes, so let's have a talk.
I'm sorry, I was summoned by Zeus. I'll lend you some sandals so you can jump higher.
Why, thank you, we get Hermes sandals, which let you jump higher, just as he says, and it has another nice feature. Yeah, let's get a password.
Hear the word of the gods. Don't forget it.
And I think that about does it for this time. Thank you very much once again for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, take care, bye bye for now.